Carmina, welcome to the Siobhan Lou Show. I'm so excited for our chats. We've already done like a live and talked about all the things, but there's always room for us to talk about and explore more and, give our lovely message to the world of healing and breath work and all the things. Do you want to get people that have not met you? They should have met you on my Instagram by now. If they've not, do you want to share like a little bit about your kind of background in terms of like breath work and how you kind of like the story into introducing breath work into your life?
So, I'll try to give you the long and the short, right?
Yeah, please.
Breath work is, I'm pretty sure that anybody who's watching this, as well as, people on your feed kind of know what breath work is by now, right?
Kind of. This is the whole point of the show is kind of like talk about it from different people and different angles. So you can give your spin on it as well, for sure.
Well, here's the deal. And this is one of the things that I'm not, necessarily, some people might be able to relate to me and some people may not be able to relate to me. But so I live here in California, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have about 11 and a half years sober. So I have a long battling history with drugs and alcohol, right? Mm-hmm. And consistently sober and like, and 12-step program sober. Like that means like no, O'Doul's, no pot, no plant medicine, no nothing. Right. And even a little bump of Coke on your birthday. Right?
Damn.
And well, it doesn't work. It's a whole thing, right?
Yeah,
that's
of course.
Other thing. But so I have a history of, all of that and then staying sober. And in a 12-step program, it's like you constantly have to be taking a look at yourself and growing, right? Mm-hmm. So when I got 1 year sober, I met my ex-husband. So I was with him from the time I was 1 year sober till 9 years sober. So during that 8-year period of time, and there was nothing wrong with the man. Okay. He was a really nice guy. He was just not my guy in any means, right? There was absolutely no connection. And I like heroin. So I'm a big fan of the numb, right? The comfortably numb aspect. Mm-hmm. So relationship with someone that had, there were no ups, no downs, no passion, no nothing, none of this, right? So come to where it was about more than 2.5 years, coming up on 3 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. I was 33 and I felt like I was fucking dying inside.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had no more vices, right? Not that I needed anything specifically, but it was like I was being tamped down. It was like, I'm just going to do my job and do this and live life and raise, fucking clean up, baby spit and like, my son just turned 4 yesterday. So he was like 1.5 at this time. Right. And it was like, I felt like I was fucking dying inside. It was like I had enough disconnection, like I couldn't cry. Every wall was up as high as it could go. Mm-hmm. Crying was just out of the fucking question. Vulnerability was weakness. You can't hurt me. And I'm just going to live my little life with literally my white picket fence. I literally have a white picket fence. Okay. Mm-hmm. With picket fence. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to have my house. I'm going to run my business. I also do mortgages, right? So I do mortgages and real estate, and that's, very like, and I'm really fucking good at it too, right? But still, I felt like there was this piece of me, this little flickering flame, like way down right in here, right? This little flame that was like this coal that was just like an amber and still burning just a little bit and about to fucking go out, right?
Yeah.
About to just get the water poured on it if I didn't fucking do something. Some people want to call it a midlife crisis. Some people want to call it, a spiritual breakdown, a meltdown, I snapped, like whatever the fuck it was, right? But it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. And I decided that I did not want to be with my husband any longer. I said, I want to be divorced. And he moved out 6 days later.
Wow.
And that same week is the first time I did breath work.
Yeah.
And, I did breath work because I felt like I was dying inside because of that. And I felt like, oh my God, did I make the biggest mistake of my life? You know what I mean? Like your marriage where everything was just like kind of guaranteed to be okay, right? I didn't want to be a single mom. There's a stigma around that within my own societal driven head, right? Yeah. And you know, I did breath work, and for the first time in years, like I don't even know if there was another time, I felt like a hug from a mother.
Yes. Right? Yes.
I felt like I could allow the tears to drop so heavily that they pulled in my ears, right?
Yeah.
I felt like I was handed a chisel to knock down these walls, and that I could fall on the ground, melt into the soil, and fucking find out why I'm dying inside. Right. And because of that, you know, I kept coming back for more. I liked the way it felt, right? I liked it and I hated it, right? I liked it and I hated it. Yeah. It was like this love-hate, but I was already to the point where it's like, if I don't do something, like this bitch is gonna pop the fuck off, you know? And I needed it more and more and more. And you know, I think it was, well, you know, what actually happened was I was out in Sedona, which I frequent, right? Because I love that place. I've been drawn there forever. Yeah. And I was out there with a good girlfriend of mine that was actually grew up in Sedona. And we happened to be out there in 2018, July 27th. It was the biggest eclipse like of the, you know, decade or something, right? We drove through monsoon to get there, and we wound up on what's called Airport Mesa, which is what they call a vortex that has different energetic spaces. And I was like, hey, you want to do some breath work? We're in the back of my SUV. It's like midnight.
Oh my God, I love it.
She's like, yeah, totally. And I put on this recording that I had, right? And then she's laying with me. I'm breathing. She's breathing. I noticed that she needs help. So I stopped what I'm doing and I basically started facilitating for her.
Really?
Her. Yeah, that's the very first time I facilitated. I started moving her around, pushing her hips. I put the crystals in her hands. I like to use crystals. I'm a big crystal girl.
Yeah.
And I helped her and I rubbed her forehead like this, and I touched her ears, and she sobbed, and it was like the most romantic thing ever. I call her my, right? Which means like, it's like Hispanic slang for girlfriend, but she's not.
I love it.
And it was romantic because when we stopped, she said, oh my God, I feel like I'm levitating. I feel like I'm levitating off of the ground. We pumped the music up, blasted a little George Harrison, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. We're dancing as in the middle of the night. There's nothing but stars up there, right? We were dancing in the street in our bra and underwear and just feeling like the most amount of bliss that two people can feel. Now, but what's important about that is what I think people are lacking now: connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And connection is that peace, that breath work, whether it connects you to yourself or connects you to other people. But when you breathe, you get to hear what's going on down here. Some of these walls come down and these layers peel off, and you get to know what's going on. So you're more capable of that connection. So when I was there with my Heine on the 27th of 2018, dancing in the middle of the street, connection, you know? And ever since then, I came back to San Diego, and people were showing up at my door asking me to do this with them. I started leading circles, and I actually didn't even get training till like a year later, you know? And the rest, oh yeah, and I built a fucking yurt.
I know, I love your yurt. You're in your yurt right now for anyone that's like not watching it, and it's so fucking cool. You have a yurt, I have a shed.
It's perfect.
They're so perfect to breathe in. Like, they're funky, they're like small, and you can feel like so much cool energy. But yeah, I love what you said about connection. So we're in Melbourne right now, and we're still in stage 4 lockdown. You know, and the classes that I host online, it's just you know, that energy of connecting everyone, whether you can feel it or not. There's like that collective energy that connects all of us. And the sharing and people telling their stories and their breathwork stories is so, like, even you telling me that breathwork story, I'm like, oh, just like the goosebumps. And, you know, you just know the feels of, just of people being able to like open.
Creativity, being born, right?
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Birthing.
Yeah, it's seriously amazing. And do you remember your very first session and like the breakthrough and, you know, what kind of got you hooked onto it?
When I was breathing?
Yeah, your one.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, I felt like it was a mother's hug, right? I felt like there was some feelings and some fears that I was having, and it was a feeling of ease and comfort. It was a feeling of security. It was like a message that you're going to be okay. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? And that is what I needed more than anything else. I could have anybody tell me I'm doing the right thing, but I needed to hear that non-linear message of you're going to be okay, baby, you know? Yeah. And then that's why I kept coming back. I felt ease and comfort. I felt ease. And then I felt exposed. And when I took that fucking machete and slashed myself open, I didn't have any choice but to keep on fucking ripping. Right?
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. And then my breathwork facilitator that I worked with, and I still work with on occasion, you know, she took her little golden thread and sewed me back up and kissed me on the forehead and sent me off. You know, that's breath work.
Yeah.
Magic, you know?
It's so true. And how did you, because obviously we met on the training together, which was awesome. And you were going to meetings during the training, right?
Yeah.
I remember, were you like organizing and taking everyone in your car? And I'm like, who is
there was
this
a couple
woman?
People. Yeah.
This is amazing. Like we were at a course and you're like, we're going to a meeting. And I was like, this is great.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't get breaks, right? It's funny because I was having this conversation recently with my boyfriend is that, you know, when I first got sober and I was told that I needed to go to meetings on a regular basis, right? Especially when I'm out of town, right? Especially when I'm out of town because I'm in unfamiliar territory. And, you know, you can always make time. And I was never told by my sponsor, which is somebody who guides you through the steps if somebody doesn't know what a sponsor is. Yeah. I was told when I first got sober, okay, you need to go to meetings on a regular basis, like 3 or 4 a week, unless we have a worldwide pandemic and they have to be over Zoom. You know what I mean? So I can tell you 50% of the people that I know and have known for years just stopped doing meetings over the past 6 months. And there's a lot of people that had drank. There's a lot of people that got shit crazy. There's a lot of people stuck in the mud of their depression, feel like they can't get out, you know? I continued to do Zoom meetings, and now we have little live meetings here and there, but it's important. It's kind of like how breathwork is a piece of your practice, right? Your regular practice of grounding you in whatever ways, right? That's how meetings are for me.
But so would you say they're like your kind of like your rituals, or like how you like get into your body, or do you do breath work every day? Like what's your kind of daily thing to get you into your body?
Fucking hell.
I asked the good shit.
You know, I'm not always in my body, man.
Yeah.
You know, I go to meetings on a regular basis. That's part of my process, right?
Yeah.
I usually go to like 3 or 4 a week. A couple are over Zoom and 1 or 2 are live right now, right? I've been tapping into a little other stuff aside from breathwork, actually, you know? Yeah. I have, and I'm actually eager to learn more about it because I think it's a piece of a little bit of a calling for me is hypnosis.
Yes. Can you please do it? Yeah. Hypnosis literally changed my life as well as breathwork. You know, there's kind of like the two. Yeah. Breathwork
I never blew my head off. And I've been doing a lot of hypnosis under past life regression work.
Yeah.
Just recordings.
Really?
Yeah. Just recordings that I'm using like on Spotify or whatever, you know? And So as far as like grounding, there's always a balance, right? I have to make sure that I feed myself appropriately, right? That I'm not eating like a bunch of bags of chips. I actually eat really, really healthy. So that's really important. I need to exercise. I have a lot of earth placements in my astrological chart, which I'm very into astrology.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
I need to get my feet on the ground, right? Yeah. So I like usually about 2 or 3 days a week. I leave from my house and there's this little, there's these trails and it's more of a hill, not really a mountain, but it's some booty gains, right? Of course. And a little lake, and you go around and I'm hang out in nature. It takes about an hour and a half. It's like 4 miles.
Wow.
Like these little things, right? There's collections of all pieces that get me to where I need to be. And I do breath work on a regular basis, as well as breath work in combination with self-pleasure, right? Yes. The big part of my grounding process.
Yeah, so that's like a great kind of place to go into this new amazing class that you facilitate, which you're still like playing around with, or have you kind of officially like launched it?
I haven't officially launched it. Okay. I have definitely, I've done the work around facilitating it, right?
Yeah.
And I think the first launch is going to go in like a 3 weeks Zoom series that I'll be doing, right? Yeah. To kind of ease people in. But yeah, do you want to talk about
it? I just want to
go at it.
No, I'll just say that you invited me to try this kind of new take on the kind of breathwork style we do, but it's more it's with women, and it's about kind of getting into our bodies, but at the same time feeling our bodies. I would say it's like self-worth, self-love, like owning ourself and our skin, and connecting with it through touch and sensation and fucking loving it. That's the kind of take I got on it. But I did 2 of them, and the first one brought up so much shame that I was carrying from kind of past women in my life, and then the second one I was just like so into my body. I was loving like the touching, even just like your arms and your skin, and just feeling so much love for this body that kind of holds me every day. And afterwards I was like, wow, like that was a really cool take on breathwork. So yeah, do you want to like talk about it? Where did that come from? And maybe tell us about because I know there was a lot of other women in the group as well, what the feedback you've been getting from it.
Yeah, so I mean, breathwork as a whole is the whole 2 breaths in, 1 breath out, just like usually just laying there with your arms to your side or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I started experiencing, I've been fucking with this technique for about 6 months now, and really trying to perfect it. And I started experiencing just like the feel and the sensation, that breath work where my body just feels so fucking good that I'm like, I think I can add a little bit here. Right? Like it's like a bump of Coke on your regular breath work, right? I named it, that specific group, I named it the scavenger hunt of the cunt, right?
I love it.
So it is self-pleasure. It is touching self. It's touching, it's touching all of it. You know what I mean? Part of you that needs to be touched, right? And really embracing it, because there's such a stigma around masturbation and self-love. Let's all fucking do self-love. Like I want some fucking self-love. And I'll tell you one thing, right? There is absolutely a connection between the climax, the clit, and the third eye. Okay. I have seen things, I have felt things that are absolutely incredible, and ideas, thoughts, business, whatever it is, it's a birthing process. It's a birthing of power and self through the climax, right? To that point.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, people are like to me, oh, I can't meditate. I've never meditated. I'm like, have you ever had an orgasm? Like ever. Like you're in that state of meditation, manifestation, whatever you want to call it, wherever you feel like shit happens in that state, and there shouldn't be a stigma around it. Like that's when shit happens.
Absolutely. Well, your head is shut down, right? Mm-hmm. This is shut down. This is a problem for a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. Let's get out of the way and see what's really going on. If I have a problem, I can't use the same mind to think myself out of the problem that my mind got me in the first place, right?
Exactly. Yes.
It's like, again, connection with other things, it's grabbing from all these other areas and this idea to allow women to be able to, this Zoom thing is absolutely fucking perfect for it, right?
I know. It was so good.
To walk women through the process of breath work and give them all the permission in the world to touch themselves in the naughtiest or the nicest ways possible, Yeah. Because one thing, there's a lot of women that I've talked to previously that on regular breath work have said, wow, I felt sexually stimulated. And I'm like, well, fuck. You know what I mean? Let's do something with this, right?
100%. And can we just say for people, I know people will be listening that do classes. When you do this class, your camera is off. And it's really funny because my thing about when I facilitate, I'm like, if your camera needs to be on, I need to see all of you or I get anxious. But that's my thing when I facilitate. But, when you do this type of breath work, it's cameras off, you full permission to do what you need, what you need to do in terms of where you're led. You kind of go with your intuition and how you're feeling. And
because this is gone.
Yes.
This is gone. So it's like, fuck it, right?
You're out of your head.
Let's get what we need. Mm-hmm. How fucking women do you know that are in their 30s and don't know how to come?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Way too many. And quite frankly, it's not that I'm sick of hearing it, but God, it hurts my soul. You know?
Yeah.
I want you to come. I want you to feel. I want you to experience the truest piece of self that is pleasure, this birthright, that is ecstasy. What the fuck is all this? Let's struggle and be in pain. You know what? If you're stuck in your house by yourself, run and have a little fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not always about blowing off steam, It's about birthing ideas and notions and things. And there can be plenty of people watching or listening to this that think I'm batshit crazy, but I'll tell you one thing. I have a little bit of a glow, don't I?
Always.
I mean, I wear I have a nice highlighter as well, but in the same time, it's like, never again am I going back to the pressure come or the shame come.
No way. And like you said, that's where all the kind of the juicy, good, creative ideas come from. And Absolutely. Just exactly like breathwork, people will say to me, I just want to stop and write these ideas down because you're in your body. It's opening, it's creativity, it's everything that we kind of crave all the time. And you can get that through doing it yourself.
It's primal, right? It's these basic instincts that society says, no.
Yeah, who the fuck says that? No. Yes.
It's the rules. Who wrote the rules? I don't fucking know, but I'm over it, Yeah. And it's empowering and it's amazing and it's awesome. And I don't really know anybody else that's doing that.
Neither do I.
The next step after that would be a return to intimacy between couples.
Yeah.
You should. And I've been practicing on people. I should actually practice on you.
Oh my God, please do.
Yeah, I've been practicing on people. I have some couples that I've worked with recently that has really returned to their own emotional and physical intimacy to the relationship through the experience of breath work. And here's the thing, they're not both breathing at the same time. Ooh. One thing and the other is assisting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Telling them how to do it.
Yeah.
And it works. And it works well. Works good and it's amazing. I mean, I have so many ideas. I know I'm doing so many things and I know you are too.
Yeah, so many, but I feel like it's because we do like you said before we kind of press record, but we're doing the inner work. We're doing the work that births and bursts all these ideas out of us. Like, I can't stop. I'm like, go, go, go. I want to build a fucking empire. Because my head is just like, well, not my head, I guess like all of me is like, let's just go.
Absolutely. And I still got to get with you with helping me with a couple of things that I need to do too, but absolutely. Like how you are showing up since March, okay? Whether your country or wherever the fuck you are has been quarantined, not quarantined, quarantined, not quarantined, right? Because we're not really quarantined, right? We're not allowed to do a lot of stuff. We have to wear masks all the time, but we're not really quarantined.
We're like in the deepest kind of quarantine right now. So we're in stage 4, only allowed out for an hour, not allowed out within 5 Ks of our house. Like we're kind of in the thick of it, but keep going with what you're saying because I'm liking
it. But what I'm saying is that how you're showing up right now and how you've shown up since March 15th, March 16th, April 1st, whatever, is going to be how you're going to show up when this world is being rebuilt. Who the fuck are you going to be? You know what I mean? Who the fuck are you going to be? And here's the thing, right? Ask yourself, what do you want to do? You have all these dreams, these aspirations. I want to live. I want to work in this thing. I have all these priority realizations. I'm hearing this from people, right? This is what I'm saying. These priority realizations. I want to, spend more time with my kids. I want to spend less time with my kids. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a painter. I want to be a singer. I want to do this, right? So figure out what the fuck you want to do. Then ask yourself, who do you got to be to get yourself there, right?
Yeah.
That's the question. And, I'm going to drizzle in a little astrology. We have Mars that is placing a lot of pressure on our universe, right? Mars has been in Aries since, June, right? And it's going to remain there until July, and it went retrograde today. So people are going to start feeling a lot of resistance. And I think that's where you were talking about before we started recording was the whole idea of people feeling lethargic. So it's like, you are being called to action, no matter what it is, no matter if it's, you need to open up a trinket shop on Etsy. I don't fucking know, right? You, whomever is listening to this, I'm talking to you, are being called to action. So what do you want to do? What are you going to do about it? Because if you're showing up in quarantine, not doing much about yourself, watching a whole lot of Netflix, right? Like Netflix is all good and fine, but there's a limit, right? And I'll tell you why, right? Especially when we were deep quarantine here, I can do quarantine well because I've done time, right? There's rules of thumb to doing time. You get up, you set an alarm, you wake up regularly, you shower, you do your makeup, you feed yourself, you put on clothes, you put on shoes, you go about your day, no matter if it's sitting on the fucking couch, right? And then you get ready for bed at night. You cannot, these are the rules of thumb for doing time, right? You have to act as if this is your home life, this is your job. You must get up and do the thing, right? Because otherwise it's like chip, 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 chip away at your soul. Rot the other side of the peach and let's feel sad. There's nothing wrong with feeling sad, but there is something wrong with not doing something about it when it's been enough time,
Yeah, it's so true. Like you can spend so long in that space, but it's like when's it time to be like, okay, I kind of want to get out of here. Like this is shit. I'm bored. I'm not kind of staying on that level. I'm going down and down and down. And I listened to something today and it's like, you get to wake up every single day in quarantine or not and decide who do you want to be that day. You decide, no one else, not the quarantine, not what anyone else is saying. You decide who you want to be that day. And if that day you want to rest and watch Netflix, go for it. But do you want to be that person every single day for the rest of your life? Like that's your decision. And I keep saying to you, like, I'm just like, go, 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 go. And, I can I don't want to be the person that kind of sits and rests. Like, I want to build this. I want everyone to know about healing and breath work and, just all the things that you can do to get you, just to be the person, a kind of a better human,
Well, it's a cycle, right? And I know you know about it, right? This cycle of depression. It's like, let's just say as an example, we are going to be on quarantine for the next month, right? Yeah. You're not going to leave your house, maybe little bits and pieces. And it's like day one, Netflix, pajamas, chips and ice cream, like fucking whatever, right?
Yeah.
Day two, I'm going to do a little bit better tomorrow, and Netflix, pajamas, chips and ice cream, right? And then you tell yourself, okay, I'm for sure getting up and I'm going to paint that picture that I've been talking about, right? And then the next day you wake up, you think, I want to paint that picture, but I need to get better ideas, but I don't have a good enough paint, but I need better paintbrushes. And it stops you. It stops you. Fuck it. I'm just going to watch Netflix, right? And then it gets in this spot where you tell yourself you're going to do something. You tell yourself you're going to change something and you don't, right? So you're not keeping promises to yourself, right? And it keeps that cycle of I'm not good enough, because you're telling yourself you're not good enough because you're not even doing what you're promising that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. The follow through, the I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm just a piece of shit. And then at the end of the day, right, after not doing anything for such a long period of time, you can't get up and your arms feel heavy, and it's real deal clinical depression. This has been my experience, right?
Yeah, I've experienced it too.
And when you can't get up and your limbs are heavy, right? So much harder to get up on day 75.
Yeah.
On day 3. And the thing about this creativity and what you want to do and who you want to be and all the things that you want to create, right? Perfect is the enemy of done, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's never going to be perfect. Brene Brown talks a lot about this, and so does Clarissa Pinkola.
Yeah, I think she posted something about it today. Like, it's never gonna be perfect. Like, nothing I do, like, I just started this show, but I'm like, I don't know how to do anything. I just want to chat to people and press record. I decided in a day, like I decided I was going to open a shed in a day, decided I was going to do my course in a day. Nothing takes longer than a day. If I want to do it, I decide the day and I do it that day. And like, that's just the way I work, and shit gets done. If I spend any longer, nothing happens. I was about to do a course.
Absolutely.
I was about to sign up for a course a couple of days ago, maybe. And I was humming and hawing. I'm like, do I do it? And then I'm like, wait till the next day. I'm like, it's not going to get done because I just didn't book it that day, and I'm like, if it comes back to me and I book it that day, it's going to get done. But now it's gone. That's it. It takes it's a day. And I'm like,
it's like train jumping, right? It fucking is right in front of you and you're hauling ass, and there's that open card in the train on a freight train, right? I've never done this, but I can see it in my mind. It's like, it's right there. I'm writing a book. I want to write a book. Bitch, jump the train, right? It's like, get there, do it, start. I actually do want to write a book, and I just need to start.
That's your message to yourself. Just start.
Just fucking start, for God's sake, and stop bitching about it,
Yeah, it's so true. And, that's why I'm glad I've started this show, because I'm like, I just need to just do it. And, it's just, I don't know how it's going to go or what's going to happen, but I don't care if, it doesn't go and it doesn't happen, because I started. That's, it kind of exercises that starting muscle, because now I'm like, oh, fuck, well, I started this. What else can I do? Like, what's next? It's that cycle as well of like starting and then being like, fuck, well, if I can do that, what else can I do? It really broadens that kind of imagination.
Absolutely. And the most successful people are the biggest failures, right?
Yeah, always. They always talk about that.
And that's the thing. It's like, you can't be successful until you fail time and time and time again.
Well, right? How do you learn? Like, that's the only way to learn.
It's like the man in the arena, like Teddy Roosevelt talks about. You know that quote?
No.
Okay. Well, I absolutely don't know it by heart, so I'm not. It's basically like the man who is the man, right? The man that is to be respected. The one is the one who shows up, blood, sweat, and tears, failing all over the place. It's the man in the middle of the arena. It's not people watching by talking shit. It's the man in the middle of the arena, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm going to fail at doing breath work. Maybe I'm going to fail at doing, masturbation breath work. Maybe I'm going to fail at, whatever the fuck it is, right? But does it really matter?
No.
At least judging who? You know what I mean? Like, who's got the huevos to just give it a shot, right? Just try, Yeah. And I'm doing that. And I think that's amazing. And I think even when we got our training, I think a lot of people that we got our training with that aren't using breath work.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, as soon as I was like out of there, I think I was like on the plane. I went to Austin and I'm like, just the ideas. I'm like, where am I going to like teach this? And how am I going to tell it to people? And, it wasn't in Melbourne before. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go back to Melbourne and be like, so want to breathe? And I always say the story that I said to Tom, it's going to go one way or the other. People are going to be like, no, like whatever, I don't want to breathe and what's that going to do? Or yeah, I'll try it and it's going to go amazing. And luckily people are loving it. Like,
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've had people say to me like, oh, I'm going to pay you to make me hyperventilate. Fuck that. And I'm like, cool, over in your corner. You know what I mean? This is, and it's like, I don't want to fucking sell anybody anything, but I will say one thing, and I know the same thing about you is the same thing about me, is that you and I have this gift of holding a container where women or men or humans as a whole have the ability to heal and let loose and explore. And that in itself is absolutely magical. I mean, tell me the last time, aside from doing breath work or, hallucinogens, that you had some like crazy spiritual experience. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you do it yourself. Like it's your breath, it's you. And how it's so like powerful. Like, people afterwards are like, oh my God, like, thank you so much. I'm like, no, you did it. Like your breath. I held the space, but it's your breath, your body. You went deep. You did what you needed to do. It was all you. Like that's so powerful. It's you, nothing else. No like external validation, external substances, nothing. You and your breath. It's just magic. It's so magical.
Absolutely. And it's hard too. It's hard work.
Yeah.
How many times do you as a facilitator say, fuck, I don't want to fucking do breath work right now, man?
All the time. I say this like all the time. If it's like a big session, I mean, I feel the resistance coming up. Like I know if I've got like a class booked in for like myself, like because I kind of do the mini ones every day, like the 7-minute kind of get myself into the body sort of shit. But if I've got like a class, like say like if I come to do your class, I feel the resistance. I don't want to do it. I'm like, oh, am I going to cry? Like I've just put mascara on. What's like my body feels uncomfortable. Like I feel it. And then afterwards I'm like, fucking yes. That was incredible. I feel amazing. I can't believe I was even resisting it. But that's but I think us to talk about this as well. Like I say to people, if you don't want to do the work, the integration, and you don't want to look at yourself, like don't come. Like it's work. You've got to be willing and open to do the work. 100%.
Yeah, you'll just fuck up the vibe.
Massively. And I've had a couple of people in my classes that have done that. They're normally in the same class, to be honest. But I really try and put that message out strongly. Just come if you're called to it or you're interested and you're willing to kind of, just even dip your toe in. But if you're just like, not into it, just don't come.
No, absolutely. And I think that there's another side to that goes back to what we were talking about in the cycle and how you're going to show up in life when life starts to peel back and we are building a new world, is the self-sabotage aspect, right? Mm-hmm. It's like there's this little gremlin that lives right here that's usually driven by like shame, right? Mm-hmm. That says, oh, don't breathe today. You're too tired,
Yes. Yeah.
Don't breathe. Yeah. It's much better if you go make a sandwich, you know? it's like, don't breathe because it's not going to be good, and it's like, don't get up and get dressed. You're just going to have to get undressed in 12 hours. Don't even try doing your makeup,
What's the point?
Like, that's the whole thing. It's like this self-sabotage. And I think everybody deals with it.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some days that I'm like so excited. I'll get up, like if I'm doing it in the morning, I'll get up like an hour earlier. I'll like set the scene. I'll have like the rug, my crystals, my sage, my oils. I'll be lying there like ready to go. And I'm so ready to breathe. But the days that I don't want to is the days that I get the most powerful stuff coming through, because that's the days that I needed to look at my shit. So that's when it comes. And the days that I'm like on and I'm ready, it's just like really blissful and relaxing and I'm feeling good. But sometimes I do it and I'm like, damn, like I didn't expect, you never expect shit to come up. I'm like, I didn't expect this to come through or that to come up. And it's tears and it's yelling and it's a tantrum. And that's normally the days I'm like, I do not want to do this today.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. And, it's hard work and it's super, super painful. And some days I just want to not do it, not participate. But, if I don't, if I don't heed the call of healing or whatever, I'm like so sick of the word healing, to be honest with you. I'm so fucking sick of it. Let me hold space for you. Let's heal. It's like, shut up. And, but it's like, God, if you don't heed the call, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't jump on the fucking freight train, right? That little coal, that little piece of you, that flicker that I was talking about in the very beginning, it's going to die out.
Yeah.
If yourself so depressed or suicidal or whatever it is, Yeah. And, shit, I don't even have time for that. Fuck, man. I have 2 kids. I run a couple of other businesses that are highly successful and booming right now. I work a lot. I'm running the household. I cook every fucking meal. Jesus, man. I just don't want to do it sometimes, but it's like, I also don't want to reach the point in which I feel like I'm dying inside ever again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, which one do you want more? And it's like, what do you, like your future self, you're going to look back and be like, thank you, like old self, thanks for doing the work and thanks for like getting up that day and doing the stuff you didn't want to do. Because it creates your reality, if you want to get that kind of woo-woo into it, but it actually does,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It creates your reality and it creates this baseline of how your life is going to be. And sometimes I want to take 2 days to have a terrible reality,
Yeah.
Tantrum, right? But it doesn't really go over well for me,
Yeah, I'm the same. And how did you get into astrology? That's what I really wanted to ask, because I have no idea about it. And I love when you kind of post about it and talk about it. I'm always so interested to learn more. How did you kind of get into that?
So right about the same time of doing breathwork, I've always kind of been interested in astrology, but I just, whatever, right? And I do mortgages, so numbers and all like charts, that all makes clear sense to me. About a month after the first time I did breathwork, I scheduled a reading because I had a friend that was an astrologer. And everything she said to me made sense. And I'm like, shit. She's right, and one of the things that drives me is looking historically at astrology, looking at the placements of the planets when something occurred, right? Mm-hmm. And something occurred when I was 18, when I was 24, when I was 30, like whatever it is. And I'm like, holy fucking cow, it all matches up, right? Wow. I like astrology. I like mundane astrology. There's astrology charts for every country, right? America's a Cancer, which is hilarious, but it drove me. And then I got another reading and to be totally honest with you, I started following almost every astrology account on Instagram and every astrology, and I've learned more on Instagram than I ever did anywhere else. Wow. And then study it and learn more about myself, and I can understand. It makes me feel better. If I'm not okay that day, I take a look at the stars and I see what's going on, and you know, bullshit or not, like it'll make me feel better, right?
Exactly.
I have a circle planned for tomorrow night where I have an astrologer guest spotting on there.
Oh, wow.
So I brought her on. Well, it's nighttime here right now, so it'll be like 24 hours from now or whatever.
Okay.
It's 8 p.m. tomorrow. I think that's like 1 p.m. Friday for you. And she's going to come on and she's going to talk about the current transits and everything that's going on and give a little bit of an astrology flavor before we start our breath work.
Wow, how fun. And how cool to like breathe as a like collective group learning about that, you know, breathing into that, because it'll kind of set the intention for the breath and the group. And yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's such a good combination. You know, all of it's, I mean, you can kind of bring anything into breath work. So cool.
Oh, absolutely. Sex, astrology, all my favorite fucking things.
Yeah, I mean, you are going to build the biggest fucking amazing empire to do with all the things. Yeah.
I know, right? You know, and it's like, man, I didn't really ever want to be on Instagram or anywhere saying like, oh, masturbation. You know, I never really thought that, but it's about heeding the call. I keep getting pushed through this doorway. Okay, that's where my power lies. You know, I got this like Lilith type archetype happening, right? And it's, you know, that's just how I roll. That's where, you know, and the people that come to me are people that are willing to do it. So let's play.
Yeah, it's so true. And I was the same with breathwork. I was like, I have no idea where this is going to go. And like, it's just created this cool community of like-minded people. And I actually said to someone earlier that, you know, when I was in Melbourne, I was really into meditation, and I loved like all things kind of universe and like vision boards and writing my goals and gratitudes. And I just didn't find anyone here kind of like that. And the message was, well, create it yourself. You know, if there's no community around you that's kind of doing that stuff, just do it. You do it, you create it, and you build it. And that's what's happening. You know, this is like a new kind of breathwork community in Melbourne, but now it's on Zoom. It's kind of like everywhere, you know, people from everywhere are coming together that are called to do it. And you'll be the same with what you're doing as well. And it's just, people love it, you know. It's just, it's clearly needed.
Oh, absolutely. And it's totally different from all the other aspects. So I'm, you know, just like my drug use, I went from drinking straight to heroin when I was a kid, right? I, like no healing aspects to like straight into breath work, right? I skipped yoga, skipped meditation. I mean, I would like kind of, you know, I skipped it all, right? I skipped like the speed, the coke, and the LSD, and I went straight to the fucking real shit, you know? And right? And you know, with that being said, it's very, very, very different from like regular spiritual practices, because you are uncovering traumas, shadows, deep cuts and pains, right? And allowing them slowly, because the way to treat a trauma is like a scab. You don't want to fucking rip it off, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, touch it a little bit, you know, like be nice to it, and then allow it to happen. And that's what breathwork does, right? Experience that in any sort of meditation.
No, neither have I. And like the visions, like I always describe like my inner child. She would always come in and I'm like, why have I never seen you before? Like, where have you been? You know, this little 5-year-old me is like coming through in my sessions. And it's crazy. Like I just see her like always like sitting on the stairs in my old house for kind of, I was going through like my childhood trauma. The breath, I always say to people, the breath will just show you what you're ready to see, you know, and I just always see her and what she's wearing. And I remember telling my mum, who has still not done a breathwork session, and if she's listening, she needs to do one. I said to her, I was like, this is what I saw in my breathwork. Is it true? And I described like what my hair was like. And you know, with trauma, how you can't remember things, like it kind of cuts the memory. So I don't remember any of my childhood. I'm getting there now with breathwork. I'm remembering more. And I said to her, like, was this the color of the carpet and the nightgown and my hair? And she was like, how do you remember that? How do you know all these exact details? I'm like, the breathwork showed me. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it showed me like that day where I was sitting, what I was wearing, how I was feeling. It's incredible. It's just so special, so special.
This is what like Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who wrote The Women Who Run with the Wolves, right?
I've still not read that. This keeps coming into my awareness. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it.
I'm just start, okay?
Just start.
Just start.
I'm saying it today, so I'm pretty sure Tom has it. So I'll read it today.
He probably does. Well, you know, she references the riddle mother, right? It's like these different areas, these cracks and crevices of the psyche that are not normally accessible are accessible during breathwork. Breathwork, you know, and it's like these are pieces that are just, they need to be accessed. They are the most glorious, amazing pieces of ourself. This is where, again, the birth of the creation, all this stuff, all this you're tapping into pieces of your psyche that cannot be normally done in your mundane life of walking around and checking the mail and fucking watching Netflix and like meditating and reading a book on spirituality. This is totally different, you know? This is collecting little pieces of your psyche to put it all together. And this is why we do meditation and yoga and breath work and all the things, you know, to access these beautiful, amazing gifts that live within us.
Yeah.
In there, right?
It's so true. I mean, I would have never known how, like, you know, my inner, like little me, how she felt, what she was wearing, what she did. I would have never been able to kind of pull up my memories ever if I didn't do breath work. Like they just don't, I mean, hypnosis definitely tapped into it for me, but breath work was like, here she is. Hi. And I'm like looking at her being like, hey, it's me. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's amazing. It's just, you know, I've had people tell me these crazy, crazy psychedelic trips all the way to, you know, from that all the way to, oh my God, I have it. I'm going to make this decision. I've been sitting on this forever. Yes. No, you know, like clarity to just, you know, body work in it being, you know, giving you ease and giving you comfort and all that stuff to all these different things. And it's like, it gives you what it needs, right? It's like it's the pneuma, it's the amba, right? It's come and it's, I don't know. It's bitchin' though.
It's the fucking best. And everyone needs to try it if they're called to it. If they're called to it. Yeah, I love that.
Not everybody's ready for it though. You know?
No, and I feel like that's fine too. You know, don't be forced into it because everyone's absolutely raving about it. You know, just do it when you're ready. If you're ready, it might not be for you. It might be for you. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been ready a year prior. That's when I was going through all the shit, like the anxiety, the depression. There's no way I would have been ready for breath work. And it always finds you at the right time. That's the other thing, I think. Every time I speak to like someone that comes to the classes or other facilitators, they're like, it just found me at the right time.
Oh, absolutely. It's all divine timing, man. I mean, this world is so much more controlled than we like to think, you know. We have no control over any of this. We were supposed to meet. It's all divine. It's all universal. Like, just go with the flow, man. And if you feel the call, heed, right?
100%.
Good.
100%. So if people want to jump into this amazing new breathwork class you've got, how can they find it and do it?
I think that probably reaching out to me through Instagram is the best. I have my website in my bio, and then either, you know, sending me an email, signing up to my email list, right? I am redoing and changing all my website stuff. But, you know, if somebody sends me a DM on Instagram, I'll read it and I can put them on my mailing list. So when I do reveal out this new, amazing, wonderful touch therapy, right? They will be emailed right away when it's open for signups, because I have a feeling it's going to fill up pretty quick.
Me too. And what's your Instagram handle for people? I mean, I'll attach it all to the kind of show notes, but what's the Instagram handle for people to reach out to?
It's Carmina _Marie_. So it's CARMINA_Marie_.
Cool.
That's me.
I love it. And is there anything else you want to share or talk about before we wrap up?
No, I think we covered a whole lot. I'm sure that we're going to do more of these.
Yeah.
It was so pleasant speaking with you again, as always. You know, we could talk forever, and it's just like, if I could say anything to anyone listening, it's like, don't take yourself so fucking seriously, right?
Yes.
That's it. Have a little fun. Play.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Carmina. And yeah, if you guys want to reach out to her or just check out the Instagram page for all these cool information about this new class, it's I'd highly recommend it. And yeah, we're definitely going to chat more, like 100%. It's so much fun. And yeah, we could talk for ages and ages. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so thank you so much, Carmina. And yeah, we'll catch everyone soon.
Okay, bye.